Okay, YouTube, I'm back, and I did the same thing with my needle, double-stranded yarn. This time I'm going to be working with the gray. So, with the gray facing you, you're going to fold that extra bit of yarn and ear flap over the edge of your hat. Okay, so it should kind of fold over like this. Okay, so what you're going to do is take your needle. Right now we don't actually need to do that, but you're going to make sure it's folded over. Take your needle and thread it right here through this, right here, the corner of the ear flap. I'm going to pull quite a bit of yarn through. So, okay. You're going to take that, and you're going to pull it up to the edge of your beanie, so that we're kind of like connecting it, like, yeah, so hold on, maybe I can zoom in. Can't really tell this type of yarn, but you're going to pull it up to where you're connecting the corner of your ear flap to the top of your beanie. So wow, and the yarn got tangled. Let's see if I can pull this through. Okay, so here it is right here. I didn't pull it yet, but you're going to pull it. You're actually going to take your thing and you're just going to tie it. Okay, that'll secure it. Just tie one knot. And tie it. Pull it tight too. So when you flip your hat over, it's connected to the beanie right there. Okay? So what you're going to do now is you're going to actually take that ear flap, flip it over the edge of your beanie. Just going to flip it upside down. And I guess you're just going to, like, I don't know if there's a name for the stitch, but you're just going to whip stitch it all the way across. Okay, so here's where you tied the knot. I'm actually going to tie it again because it's coming loose. But pull your flap over the edge, take your needle, stick it in, and then pull it out. Okay. So, what is this right there? Oh, this is yarn from the knot. Okay, so there's your first stitch. Okay, I know it's really, really kind of hard to see. But now what you can just start doing is put it back upside up. Stick it back through the ear flap and come up. Making sure you don't go through the black part of your ear flap, okay? You don't want to go through that part. And this is just how I'm sewing on my thing. I'm just giving you guys an example of how you can do it. I mean, you can sew it on whatever you want to, but Okay, when you get to your corner, this last piece right here, you're just going to stick it through the corner, and then you're going to go straight through the gray, okay? And come out the other side. Flip your hat around and just pull it through. But don't pull it through all the way, okay? What you're going to do now is you're going to take your needle and go through the top part of the gray right here, and we're just going to be connecting it like I did there. Now with that loop that we grabbed before we pulled all our yarn through, I'm going to stick it through there and pull it out. And there's basically like making a makeshift knot right there. So if you did it pretty tight, you shouldn't have to do this again. I don't think I have to do it again. So it's really, really thick, but when we comb out our to make it fur, and when we, you know, break the hat in, of course, when you start wearing the stuff, it's going to get a lot looser, not as bulky, okay? So go ahead and bind off, and I'll meet you at the end. Hey guys, here's my ear flap. I just weaved in all the edges on it. So here's what it should look like, and it is kind of bulky, but when we comb out, when we brush out all the fur, it should be nicer. It'll be a lot less bulky. So yeah, here's what your ear flap should look like. I know it's a pain trying to sew this together, but in the end, it'll be worth it, okay? So go ahead and do your other ear flap, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, YouTube, so I just finished putting on my other ear flap, and so I'll show you guys what it looks like. Oh, just zoom it out for 1 second. So here's what it looks like. And I weaved in every single end on my hat, so don't have to do that anymore. I'm telling you, putting these ear flaps on is a pain. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get to the fur part in the front of our hat, okay? Okay, YouTube, to do this part, I suggest you put it on the person or the male or your mannequin head that you're, put the hat on the mannequin head or on a person's head. And to show you guys how I'm going to do this, probably need to actually back my camera up some more. I'm going to show you guys in black. I have black yarn right here because I'm not really going to be able to show you guys in homespun, okay? So, to measure where you want this to fit at on your hat, you're going to take the end of your chain, because, you know, I did 23 stitches. This is for this hat, and that's for how the size. So, chain 23, you're going to position it to figure out. You want it close to the ear flaps, but not that close. So, chain 23. So, after you've chained 23, you're going to chain 2, okay? And that is going to count as our starting chain for a half double crochet. We're going to do a half double crochet in the third chain on our hook. So if I can get it in there. Okay, and we're going to do a double crochet in each chain all the way across. Now note, you guys are going to be doing this. This is the front fuzzy part of the hat. You're going to be doing this in homespun yarn. Okay, only reason I'm doing this in black is because it'll be easier to show you than doing it in homespun, because, you know, it's really fuzzy, so it's really hard to see the stitches. Okay, so just all the way across, half double crochet in each chain, all the way across. Okay, so I'm at my last chain. Okay, so that's it for row 1 of your fuzzy thing. For row 2, you're going to chain 2, half double crochet in each half double crochet, all the way across. And mind that you are going to be doing this fuzzy yarn. I'm repeating that because I really don't want you to forget that's like the main part of the hat, is the fuzz in the front. Now, I'm not actually sure how many rows we have to do, because this part I am thinking off the top of my head. The rest of the hat I memorized, but this part I'm thinking off the top of my head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish doing this part in the actual homespun yarn, and I'm going to come back and tell you guys how many rows to do, and then you are going to follow through with the instructions that you just seen. So stay tuned. Okay, YouTube, I am back, and this is what it looks like now. Okay, this is 14 rows, so go ahead and do your 14 rows and come back, and we'll get around to sewing this onto the hat. Okay guys, so now that you're back, instead of putting this on the hat this way, I think I'm going to do something different, and we're actually going to put it on this way. I put it on the hat and did some messing around with it, and it came out better this way. So, okay, someone's calling me. Okay, sorry about that. Like I was saying, I'm going to sew it on this way, okay? So like I said, do 14 rows. If you already did that, then we can go ahead and with this part of the hat, okay? You're going to chain 1 and then chain again. So chain 2. And then you're going to half double these two together, okay? So basically, it doesn't matter where really, but we're just basically trying to close this up. And crocheting it to me is a lot easier than threading a needle and, you know, trying to sew it closed. So I should zoom in some, even though you can't really see because of the yarn. So yeah, you get the point. Go all the way across to the other side, half double crocheting them together, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I've reached my end, so I'm just going to chain 1, and I'm going to bind off, and I'm going to leave a long tail because this is what we're going to use to sew onto our hat. So go ahead and do that, cut your string, and I'll meet you there to put it on the hat. Okay, so I just bind off and all that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this inside out, and it kind of makes like a tube or whatever. And this is what we are going to be sewing on to our hat. I have it positioned on my mannequin, and I'll show you what it looks like. Well, I put the hat on them. Look at the ear flaps. Come around, you want to make sure they're kind of the same distance, and that is absolutely in the middle, okay? So I'm going to take the hat off from now, and I'm going to sew it on. Okay, so here's my hat. Here's my tail that I'll be sewing with. And I'm just going to sew this I don't know, there's no specific way to sew it. I'm just going to make it work. If you have any other tails, it'll probably be ideal to weave them in now so they won't be in the way, but I didn't do mine because I've been filming this tutorial all day and I'm tired, so let's see. Okay, so there's the start. So I'm just going to sew this on. It doesn't matter how it's put on as long as it's secure. So I'm going to go through that hole again. You hear that noise in the background. I'm in my restroom, so that's the shower curtain. My elbow keeps hitting it. Because the only place with good lighting, where I could get good lighting and quietness, so. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to tilt the hat upside down. Whoops, my light. I'm going to tilt the hat upside down, and I'm going to sew it on this way. It'll be a lot more easier for me to sew it this way. Make sure you're sewing through both flaps of the thing when you put this on, because we want both of them attached to the hat. So you guys can pretty much get the point. You're going to sew all the way around your hat, and just make sure it's really secure all the way around this, and attach it just the same way I'm doing it, or with whatever way you're feeling comfortable, connecting it down here and connecting it up here, okay? So continue to do that, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, YouTube, I'm finished putting on the front of my hat. Sorry I didn't record much of it, but it doesn't really matter how you put it on. You just put it on any old kind of way. Okay? So now around this time, I would get to start brushing my hat. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed on my hat, but my hat is a little bit more furry than this hat. Okay, this is my hat. What I did to get that is I took a hard bristle brush, and it's probably not actually going to happen on this hat, you guys. I took a hard bristle brush. This one is soft, kind of. Or you can take Velcro, and you're just going to brush out your hat. See, it does a little bit, but not enough. My brush that I used for my hat, it was really hard. And I used some Velcro too. But just take a brush, a hard one, like a boar hair, and just brush out your hat, brush out the ear flaps. You can also brush like around the edges of the hat too, okay? So now that I would suggest you go ahead and do that, because we're about to go ahead and do our the ties for our hat. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you when it's time for us to do the ties. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're going to put the ties on our hat. Okay, so you're going to need 8 long strands of the homespun yarn, 8 long strands of the red heart. Okay, we're gonna keep these 2, and we're gonna not exactly mix them, but we're going to use these to tie onto our hat. Just make sure they're long and that they're about the same length. I mean, you can always cut them, make them shorter, or yeah. So we can do this now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ties. I'm going to take my, hold on, let me see if I can get my hat positioned right. I'm going to take my ties, stick my J-hook through that little loop that we crocheted earlier, and try and grab at least most of the yarn. If you have a bigger hook, this would probably be a lot easier, but this is all I have with me right now. Pull it through. Okay, so gonna pull them and make sure they're pretty even. Some of my strings are a little bit longer, but it's okay. So pull them, make sure even. You're going to loosely braid, okay? It's just going to be a regular braid. It doesn't matter how many strands or strings are in your are in each piece of the braid. Just do it loosely, whatever you do. you can tie it off now. Now, usually I have like a few long strings because I mismeasured how long it was. So what I do with those long strings is I take it, put my finger, okay, my finger, I'm holding it like this. Just keep holding it like that, but pull that yarn over the braid, okay? Now stick it between your two fingers and push it through that loop, okay? And you just pull. Okay, and that closes off my braid. And I do that a couple times with a few of them. I'll show you guys one more time, just in case you forgot. Put your fingers together. And in there, push it through that one loop. My finger came out of it. Let's see. Okay, so there is your braid for your hair ties. I don't make mine very long because, I don't know. I just don't like really, really long ties. But this is what it looks like. And it may look sloppy, but it's because of the furry yarn in there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these right here. So go ahead and do the other side of your hat. See, this is what it looks like now. And I'm probably going to take this off. I was just showing you guys so that I can brush out my hat first to put this on. But yeah, go ahead and put your other braid on and you're done with your hat. I mean, I guess it's pretty simple. Hello YouTube, it's me, One Virtuous Woman, and my camera had stopped. Or I don't think it stopped. I think somebody deleted the footage. It probably stopped. But yeah, I decided to just come in to you guys. This tutorial is kind of old, so the hat that was in this video I actually don't have with me right now. Last night, there's a hair in my mouth. I actually just made another one, and this is for my uncle. It's black with AL on the side. Now in this tutorial you guys didn't see lettering, but this is still the hat. AL, and it's supposed to stand for Al Davis, the football coach of the Raiders. And I'm not actually a Raiders fan, but this is from my uncle. So, you know, since he family, I decided to make it for him. So, yeah. He wanted me to do the Raiders and bomber on it, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do that. It's probably whatever he wants. If you hear the vacuuming, sorry guys, if you hear the vacuuming or the barking or anything, my sister is back there with the vacuum cleaner doing who knows what. So I'll just show you guys the hat right quick. This hat is actually really big. My uncle has a big head. I'm gonna put it on the mannequin right now. As you can see, it's really big. But here's what it looks like. You guys can see it. Here's what your hat is gonna look like minus the AL back. So wait, let me see. Back all the way around. I actually like the way it looks not brushed out, but I don't know if he wants it brushed out or not, but I'm probably gonna end up brushing it out. I'm not sure, but I like how it looks. It looks nice. I mean, you can do it either way you want to, but yeah, that's it for this tutorial. Congratulations for making it. I know I got a lot of requests on this tutorial, so I just decided to go ahead and do it. Next tutorial I'm probably going to be doing is the hobo bat. Okay, I'm back.
Some people really starting to get on my nerves, if you know what I'm saying. I'm about ready to go off on somebody out there. Yeah.
But anyways, that's the end of the tutorial. Sorry you guys, I know it took me so long to do this. The next tutorial I'll probably be doing is a hobo bag. That was like the second most requested thing. The one with like 4 different colors. So, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry I haven't been back in a while, but there'll be more videos coming out. I've just been really busy. Yeah, that's a lame excuse, I know. Yeah, that's it for now. So until then, bye.